We ready for some NBA basketball?
I am. I'm ready for the NBA regular season to be over, as I'm sure there are a number of teams as well that that feel the same way at this point, Ben.
Yeah, I think there are many that do. But, Joe, if you are a team in a playoff position, to make a coaching change at this stage of the season would be rather shocking, which is what happened on Friday, right before the weekend got underway. The Memphis Grizzlies parting ways with head coach Taylor Jenkins. During his years in the Grind City, a very successful run for the Grizz. And right now, Joe, Memphis in the 5 spot at 44-30. Hasn't been nearly as prolific for the Grizzlies since the All-Star break, but Taylor Jenkins fired by Memphis before this weekend got started on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, and then miraculously, John Morant is all of a sudden able to play in some games, and he's not on the injury list. That whole situation there is just not good. In no way, if anything stable in an organization, would you allow this to happen now, as opposed to the end of whatever it's going to be? It's going to be, you can always fire him, and as soon as the season is over. This makes no sense unless the inmates are running the asylum, so to speak.
Yeah, Joan, I think there is a part of it to be said for sure that the players were not all that thrilled with Taylor Jenkins. Now, I can't say I'm up on Grizzlies chatter and Grizzlies rumor, but of course I do follow our great SportsGrid host, Kevin Walsh, who is highly indebted to the NBA. And through his Twitter, I found out that some in Memphis Grizzlies Twitter thought there was writing on the wall that this could happen even at this stage of the season. Taylor Jenkins, who was there for 6 years in Memphis, including 2 years in 2021-22, 2022-23, where the Grizz finished second in the Western Conference standings. This year, 44-30, but just 8-12 in the 20 games since the All-Star break. Right now in the 5 spot at 44-30 in the NBA's Western Conference. So let's go to the Grizz as they are at home tonight in a Memphis matchup, catching 5 points against the Boston Celtics. Total stands at 236.5. Memphis has dropped 2 in a row, Joe. Can they find their footing tonight against the C's?
I thought we had that old fired coach bounce idea, right? A couple of nights ago at Memphis. John Morant comes back, Desmond Bain, the whole crew is there. And what'd they do? Yeah, they promptly lost at home to the Lakers, who weren't able to stop a nosebleed. Now, the Celtics are coming to town, and I want nothing to do with this Memphis team in this spot here. The Boston Celtics have already shown their second team can go in and light you up for 130 points. I'm getting no defense. Memphis is a hot mess, and they have been, Ben, for over the last month. Not against the Celtics. Am I backing them here tonight?
No, I don't think you should, Joe. In that game, again, the interim head coaching bump Saturday night without Taylor Jenkins for the first time against the Lakers. They were a slight home favorite in the Grind City. They lost that game by 7, 134-127. Memphis has been a huge over team all year. I'm not sure that slows down tonight. Meanwhile, Boston has won 8 in a row. In the 4 games, the C's have been booked as a single-digit favorite in this 8-game win streak. Boston has covered the number every time, making things a little bit interesting atop the Eastern Conference. Only a 4.5-game difference for the C's and the Cavs right now, but Cleveland should find its way to clinching that 1 seed very, very soon. Speaking of the Lakers, they are now back home. They host the Rockets late night in L.A. on this Monday. 4.5-point spread in favor of the Lakers. Total stands at 225. Can the Lakers continue their winning ways at home tonight against Houston?
Well, they're good. This is going to be an interesting test, I think, for both these teams at this point. I do think if you like the Lakers, you probably like the over, Ben, right? Because there's no way I think they're going to create enough offense to stop the Rockets here. The big question is, can the Rockets defensively slow down Luka and LeBron and company? It's been a lot of overs for the Lakers here. 9 of their last 12 games have averaged 233 points. I like the Lakers. I love the over in this one.
4 of their last 5 to the over, 6 of their last 8 to the over. As Joe said, 9 of their last 12 to the over as well. The Lakers playing a small bit of spoiler. Again, just about a 1.5 underdog in Memphis on Saturday night. They won that game outright. They had dropped 4 of their last 5 entering, booked as a favorite in their last 4, not covering a number in any of those 4 as the favored side. In some important playoff positioning in this matchup tonight, Houston currently the 2 seed in the Western Conference, a 2-game advantage over Denver, who has a 1.5 lead over the LA Lakers, who has a game up over Memphis. All of those tied pieces here in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. More NBA next. More NBA action on this Monday. Again, less than 2 weeks remain in the NBA regular season. 2 weeks from yesterday will be that final day around the regular season, but still some playoff positioning to be ironed out, as most teams have about 6 or 7 games max remaining in this NBA campaign. Joe, that includes out in the Eastern Conference. The Indiana Pacers, as of this moment, the 4 seed with a 1.5 lead over the Detroit Pistons, who now have a 1.5 lead over the Milwaukee Bucks, as the Bucks without Damian Lillard have been stumbling. Indiana at home tonight in Indy. The Pacers playing host to the Kings. 5.5 point spread in favor of Indiana. Total stands at 233 and a hook. Where do you start your breakdown for this matchup in Indianapolis?
Well, you had to start by, listen, Indiana would love to lock in that 4 seed, right, and get themselves a guaranteed home series there to start the postseason. That's a big advantage for them in this spot here. I can't trust Sacramento. I also can't trust the idea that I'd be sweating out an under in this game, Ben. Can you? Sabonis looks like he's a go. As long as the Kings are going to push pace, and I think they will in this game, I don't see how this thing stays under the 234.5. It would only be favorites or the over for me in this one.
Yeah, we're really talking bottom of the barrel stuff for the teams that are in play-in consideration around the Western Conference. Indiana trying to solidify that 4 seed. This would help them a ton with that 2-game advantage right now, or the 1.5 lead over Detroit to pick up a victory here. There's only about 5, 6, 7 games remaining for teams around the association, Joe. A 1.5 might not seem like it's all that much to overcome, but you need to win all of your games or a lot of them, and you need the team to drop a majority of theirs down the final 2 weeks of this regular season. Sacramento has dropped 7 of its last 10. They are now in the 10 spot, the 4th and final in the Western Conference play-in tournament. Only a half game behind the Mavericks, who somehow, some way, in the return of Anthony Davis, might be a play-in team. Phoenix Suns, after a 4-game win streak, have now dropped 3 in a row. So Sacramento still a 1.5 lead over Phoenix for that final spot in the Western Conference play-in tournament. Speaking of the Mavs, Dallas at home tonight hosting the Nets. 9-point spread in favor of Dallas. Over under 218 and a hook. What's the play tonight, Joe, in Big D?
Yeah, I mean, it's intriguing, right? Because the Mavericks, the Kings, or the Suns, one of them is going to miss the postseason entirely here. So both of these, this Dallas team is going to be fighting for its playoff lives over the next couple of weeks. And can I tell you something? I mean, kudos to Jason Kidd for holding it together and even giving them an opportunity, Ben, given all the injuries and all the craziness, that they are even in a spot here to be able to make it. They have been feisty. But listen, the Nets don't win a lot of games, but you know what they do, Ben? They cover. They cover a lot. So depending on who's in there tonight, might be worth taking the 10 points with the Brooklyn Nets, who have not exactly been beaten by this kind of number by teams caliber of the Dallas Mavericks.
So Anthony Davis returned exactly a week ago for the Dallas Mavericks. He has played 3 games. The Mavs have played 4. In all 3 games, AD has returned. Dallas has won and covered. In terms of the projected numbers for tonight, Anthony Davis does have a player prop out there, 23.5 from the points perspective. If he is in there, I kind of lean with the Mavs. And to your point, Joe, It's been a wild season in Dallas, right? You trade Luka Doncic. People want Nico Harrison's head on a stake. You lose Anthony Davis after a sensational debut 3 quarters into his start with the Mavs. You lose Kyrie Irving with a torn ACL for the remainder of this year. And yet the Mavericks are more than likely going to be a postseason team if they can hold on here in the final 13 days of this NBA regular season. A testament to them. And frankly, it doesn't seem like the Phoenix Suns are going to put much of a charge into either the Kings or the Mavericks for those final 2 play-in tourney spots out west, Joe. It looks like this era of the big 3, KD, D-Book, Bradley Beal, coming to a close this summer in the Valley.
Yeah. Oh, is Bradley Beal even still on the team? You wouldn't know.
I believe so.
Given the fact that he's never healthy enough to play for anybody. But yes, I think changes are coming in the Phoenix area with their basketball team.
An 8-game NBA slate on this Monday. Maybe we'll have a few plays for you just a little bit later on. TV, Tom Vecchio provides that prompt perspective live right here on the Early Line. Up next.